Hello, my name is Daniel Selitzer, and today I'll be presenting my Fortune 500 research project on Apple and its CEO, Tim Cook. Apple is one of those companies that most of us interact with every single day through our phone, computers, watches, or music. It's not just a tech company, it's really a part of a modern culture. So in this presentation, I'll cover Apple's company profile, mission, values, organizational culture, and diversity efforts. Then I'm going to take a closer look at Tim Cook's background and leadership. And I'll finish with a reflection on how my own approach to leadership connects with his. The reason I chose Apple was because it's a perfect example of how strong leadership and clear values can keep a company innovative and ethical, even after major transitions like the one that happened when Tim Cook took over from Steve Jobs. Okay. All right. Apple was founded in 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayne in Cupertino, California. The company began as a small computer startup in a garage, but it eventually grew into the most valuable brand in the world. Today, Apple designs and Apple designs and sells everything from iPhones and MacBooks to iPads, AirPods, and Apple Watches. Beyond hardware, it also offers services like Apple Music, iCloud, and Apple TV Plus, and the App Store, which are huge parts of its success today. Apple also ranks number 4 on the 2024 Fortune 500 list and employs more than 160,000 people worldwide. It has a market value of around 2.7 trillion, which shows not just its popularity, but its ability to adapt and innovate in a constantly changing global market. What's made Apple different from competitors is its focus on design and user experience. It doesn't just make technology, it makes technology that feels personal, intuitive, and stylish, which is why people all over the world are loyal to the brand. Okay, so its mission and vision. Apple's mission statement is to bring the best user experience to its customers through innovative hardware, software, and services. Its vision statement is to create the best products on earth and to leave the world better than we found it, which I think it's really, really good. What I really like about Apple's mission is how clear and consistent it's been. Every product and service they release reflects that commitment to quality and simplicity. The vision statement also shows how Apple has grown beyond technology. It now includes environmental and social responsibility as a part of its identity. For example, Apple aims to make all its products carbon neutral by 2030, which is a big goal. And it already runs its facilities on 100% renewable energy. So Apple's mission and vision aren't just words on a website. They show up in how the company designs, manufactures, and even markets its products. So the code of ethics and core values. The code of ethics and core values. Apple's code of ethics centers around integrity, honesty, and respect, not just towards customers, but also towards employees and the environment. One of the main areas where Apple stands out is privacy. While other tech companies make money by collecting data, Apple has built its reputation around protecting its users and their information. Their slogan, privacy, their slogan, privacy, that's iPhone, is a reflection of how ethics are tied to their brand. Also, Apple's core values include innovation, inclusion, accountability, and respect. Each of these connects directly to how the company operates day to day. For example, innovation drives product design, inclusion influences hiring and leadership decisions, and accountability guides how Apple sources its material responsibility. Overall, Apple's ethics and values are part of what keeps its customers loyal and its employees motivated. So, organizational culture. Apple's culture is best described as adaptive and cooperative. This means employees are encouraged to share ideas, challenge existing processes, and work together towards creative solutions. Steve Jobs originally built this think differently mentality, and Tim Cook has continued it, but in a calmer, more balanced way. Inside Apple, collaboration is key. Teams from different departments like design, software, and marketing all work together closely to make sure every product fits the company's high standards. This kind of environment allows people to take risks without fear of failure. Mistakes are seen as part of innovation, and that's why Apple continues to lead industries like smartphones, computers, and wearables, such as the AirPods. It never stops learning or improving. So when it comes to diversity and inclusion, Apple strongly believes that diversity leads to innovation. As of 2023, 35% of its global workforce are women, and 47% of new US hires come from underrepresented backgrounds. Those numbers show real progress towards inclusion. Tim Cook has also said many times that the most diverse teams create the best products. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Apple's customers come from every culture and country, so its workforce should reflect that as well. The company also works hard to make sure pay is fair and equal. It regularly audits compensation data and reports that men and women at Apple are paid equally for similar roles. That kind of transparency is what sets Apple apart from other major tech firms. So continuing on with the diversity and inclusion. Apple also invests in programs that go beyond its own company. One example is the Racial Equity and Justice Initiative, a 100 million commitment that supports schools, community projects, and entrepreneurs in underrepresented communities. Inside Apple, employee groups like Women at Apple or Black at Apple and Pride at Apple give workers a voice and sense of belonging. The company's products also reflect its values. They include accessibility features for people with disabilities like voice control and screen readers. All of this reinforces what Tim Cook said. We believe inclusion inspires innovation. And based on Apple's success, it's clear that this mindset really does pay off. So now moving on to the CEO background, or Tim Cook's background. So Apple's CEO since 2011 has been Tim Cook. He was born in Robertsdale, Alabama in 1960, and he grew up in a working class family. He earned a degree in industrial engineering from Auburn University and later completed his MBA at Duke University, a very well-known university. Before joining Apple, Cook spent 12 years at IBM, where he learned how to manage large-scale operations. He later worked at Intelligent Electronics and Compaq, where he became known for improving efficiency and streamlining production. That background in logistics and supply chain management would eventually make him the perfect fit for Apple, which at the time needed someone who could bring structure and stability to its growing operation. So furthermore, Tim Cook joined Apple in 1998 as a senior vice president of worldwide operations. Just as the company was struggling financially, he made bold changes to Apple's supply chain, closing inefficient factories and cutting inventory and improving delivery systems, which was a lot at the time. Those decisions helped save the company millions of dollars and positioned it for future growth. Under Cook, Apple became one of the most efficient tech companies in the whole world. And in 2011, he was officially named CEO, following Steve Jobs' resignation. That transition could have been a disaster. Jobs was a creative icon. He was very known for that. But Cook managed to lead Apple through it smoothly, which was very impressive as well. He focused on maintaining the company's innovative spirit while bringing in more structure and consistency. Today, under his leadership, Apple became the first company ever to reach a $3 trillion valuation, which was insane. More about his background. Tim Cook is known for being disciplined, humble, and ethical. He's not the kind of CEO who seeks attention. Instead, he focuses on listening and empowering others. He's also the first openly gay CEO of Fortune 500 company, which was a big step forward towards representation and inclusivity in corporate leadership. Cook has been an advocate for human rights, environmental protection, and data privacy. His net worth is estimated to be around $2 billion, but he's pledged to donate most of it to charity, which is very nice of him as well. That shows his values aren't just professional, they're personal. He believes success means making a difference, not just making money. He cares about the people. So when it comes to his leadership style, Tim Cook's leadership style is a mix of servant leadership and transformational leadership. He leads by example, putting his team first and helping them grow. He's also very data-driven and analytical, which keeps Apple's operations strong and efficient. When comparing it to Steve Jobs, who led through intensity and creative pressure, Cook focuses more on collaboration and consistency. He's the calm center of a very complex organization, and people respect him for that stability. He encourages employees to take ownership of their ideas, and that's helped create a culture of accountability as well as creativity, which has been a major part of the company itself. So, moving on to his leadership philosophy. Cook's personal philosophy is to work hard, stay humble, and make something meaningful. Those were his own words. He's guided Apple to balance profit with purpose. Under his leadership, Apple has become a global leader in sustainability, using 100% renewable energy for its facilities and designing recycling systems for its products as well. He's also strengthened Apple's commitment to its users' privacy, which is something that truly sets it apart in the tech industry. Cook once said, "We don't want your data, we want your trust." That's a bold statement in today's world, and it's a big reason why why people continue to support Apple. Also, his ability to lead with integrity, empathy, and long-term vision make him one of the most respected CEOs in the world. So, critical thinking and reflection. When I think about my own leadership style, I see a lot of similarities with Tim Cook's. I value discipline, honesty, and teamwork. and I try to stay calm even when things get stressful. Like Cook, I believe leadership isn't about control. I think it's about consistency, communication, and building trust within your own people. I also think Cook could be successful at almost any other company because his approach focuses on people, processes, and long-term values, things that are universal in leadership. What I take from his example is that the best leaders are humble, steady, and driven by purpose, not ego. In my references, but to wrap things up, Apple's story shows that great leadership is about more than creativity or intelligence. It's about having a clear, it's about having clear values, treating people with respect, and staying true to your principles, even when your company is the biggest in the world, such as Apple. Tim Cook has proven that success and integrity can go hand in hand, and that's something I want to apply in my own career as well. So thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you learned something new about Apple and Tim Cook and what makes leadership truly impactful. Thank you.